Hello and welcome. I'm Prepper21. I'm outside right now, but going to go inside. It's kind of cold out here tonight, January 19, 2020. And even though it's dark and cold and nothing is really growing out in the yard these days, it doesn't mean there aren't things going on inside. Lately, I've been talking a lot about microgreens. And I've got a lot of information out there, and a new video coming out about how I grow them, and why they're so versatile and tasty and useful. And here we have a new batch of peas, sunflower, and arugula getting underway. But I'm here to talk to you today about Kratky Hydroponics. Kratky, K-R-A-T-K-Y, Kratky Hydroponics. I've talked about it a lot, and the reason I want to talk about it a little more is because it is so darn productive and effective for growing food, in particular greens, indoor, on your own, in the winter. You don't have to go to the store, you don't have to wait in line, and more importantly, you know where the food comes from. So, excuse the hat head here. So here we are, just a little updated tour of the Kratky hydroponic system. And over here is the newest table. We've got a variety of different plants here growing. These are smaller ones, and the table looks pretty sharp now because I just cut some new plywood and made holes. The cover's been off for a little bit, and I removed the heater from this one. It says 68. Normally it would say about 55, but it was just reading 70 because I had the aquarium water heater right here underneath in this water tank, which is about 15 gallons. And right here, this water heater is one of the very few things that I use electrically to operate the system. It's winter, so I need a little bit warm water. The other things, of course, are a little grow light system. In this case, I have a Fly-Zone 900 watt LED, not just one, but two of them. Reason being, because we have a lot of plants going here. I think the total is 20, maybe 24, I think. I've got 24 different plants going. Here's 12 right here. And we see that some plants are doing better than others. In particular, ones that don't do well, we'll get that started, is the chard. What does really well is the butter crunch lettuce, the mesclun lettuce. There's more butter crunch here. Parsley does real well. This was recently picked, so it's a little smaller than it was yesterday. I'm going to come in and pick a salad soon, so I wanted to show this first. More mesclun lettuce, and again, my new favorite, butter crunch lettuce. So what I'll do, come in, I want to harvest a lot of this butter crunch, and for the plants that aren't doing well like this one, I will go ahead and start new plants and replace these over time. So the idea was to stagger this. This would be I mixed these plants around a little bit from these spaces here, but these are all the same plants that started on this block here. This is just a wider tub, like a cement mixer, nothing special. And again, it's about 16 gallons. And it's really nice in here because the water is so clean. And let's see if we can get a look in here, see where that might show. But there's no smell. You see the roots growing down through. And this plant, you know, it's getting by okay, but could be doing better. So we'll see, take what we can and then replace it. Now, again, I talk a lot about growing your own greens and things like Kratky Hydroponics because for me, it's fun to do. I like to get my own greens. I don't like to go shopping or wait in line if I can help it. And I've been trying to master indoor green growing for several years now. With the microgreens, it's easy. I started with sprouts. Most people tend to start with sprouts, seeds, and you moisten them in a jar and you shake them dry every once in a while. And a couple of days you munch on sprouts. For me, though, if I'm going to go through the trouble of doing that with garbanzo beans, for example, I'd rather take the beans and make falafel or something out of them like that rather than, go through that other trouble sprouting. So I moved on to microgreens. Microgreens, they grow you bigger greens, so it's a little more productive. A lot more nutrients depending on what you grow. And then, of course, we need salads. We need veggies. We need greens. We need herbs. We've got cilantro here too, which I didn't mention. So in order to provide for ourselves, it's amazing. All of these plants, they all look big, but they all start from one little teeny tiny seed. And I can do this in my house, on my own terms, in my own time. And you can too. So with the Kratky Hydroponics system, we'll just take a look at maybe this system here. It's very straightforward. It's a tote cart here, okay? You don't use a lid. You fill it with water, and I'll show you about 10, for starters, about 10 tablespoons of Maxi Grow 10-5-14 is what I've been using with the Kratky Hydroponic system, and it's been just the right mix for doing these greens. Now, I'm not talking about growing food that you can only eat this and live off of, but it's a great supplement, and the idea isn't to provide everything for ourselves. It's to provide a little bit, learn how to do it, and then teach others. And if we all could do 10% maybe of what we need. In this case, maybe I can get 10% of my family's green needs out of here. In this particular batch, maybe this will last at least another 3 to 4 weeks. The basil and parsley will last longer. They could last up to 3 months. And I don't jest about that. I'm very serious. So, Kratky Hydroponics, okay? Water, mix. What happens is as the water evaporates, the roots of the plant grow down into that space of air, and we're going to take a look and see what that really means. Look at that, okay? You see these roots. Look how clean, and you won't ever see anything like this unless you grow plants this way. You could do other hydroponic type systems, of course. However, the roots just float down in there in the water. The roots of the parsley plant are really impressive. They really take off well. Parsley does really well in Kratky Hydroponics. And, something that I can show by comparison, the chard, for whatever reason, is different, doesn't want to grow as well in this type of medium. And over here, you see how well the butter crunch lettuce roots through. So what I'm holding these in is what's called a net pot. So it's like a pot with holes in it, thus a net holds everything, holds the roots together. Another more or less piece of equipment, growing medium, is the hydraton, which is clay balls that are very dry and they absorb and hold water. And then in the middle to put the original seedling. Let's see if I can show you a picture here. This is basil. Wow. Look at that basil root. That's really long. So, and then in the middle, if it comes out, is a small growing medium square. For whatever reason, the name evades me right now. But I'll put that information in the link. So, what I learned from Kratky Hydroponics is that less is best. And in this case, energy. There really isn't much. There's no pumps, no extra water swishing around, nothing to worry about in that regard. The lights are pretty effective and cost effective. Um, so your initial setup costs are just that. They're initial setup costs. Like I pay for the lights once, but how many times can I get crops out of this? So for the cheap and lazy, Kratky Hydroponics is really cool. The other thing that I think is really good about Kratky Hydroponics is plants will grow differently than they will outside. Outside, there's obviously a lot different things. What's really good is there's no pests here. There's no bugs. Nothing I have to worry about. And in the middle of winter, I can grow green. Now, Kratky Hydroponics maybe not is not for everyone. It is a little bit labor intensive getting this together. This tank, you have to have the right water set up. However, if you've tried indoor gardening and you've had no luck, where you're not having luck, have you tried Kratky Hydroponics? Is there a way for you to incorporate a system that's clean, doesn't smell, and no bugs, and produces, maybe 3 to 4, 2 to 3 salads a week for 1 to 2 people, depending on how we do things, and then combining them with the microgreens. So again, the idea is not to get everything out of one system, but have a little system here, have a little system there. And then from the yard, we have a lot of stored stuff that was managed over the summer. So fruits and veggies that we stored over the summer, all combined to maybe add close to 10% of what we consume as a family. And that's really hard to do. And I've been at this for 10 years. So we're on the road to improvement, trying new things, not giving up. And I encourage you to try the same. Share what you do. If you do Kratky Hydroponics, how do you do it? And you've got advice, don't keep it to yourself. I take criticism just as well as compliments. So, this is Prepper 21. I'm advocating again. Get prepared. Get your own food growing and have fun doing it. Whether anything works out for better or worse, we will be better off. Get prepared. Thanks for watching.